Tamid, Tamid Dalad Vav, Dalad base. He would not break a hind leg of the Tamid. Rather, he would make a hole in the area of its knee and hang it from that hole. He would skin the lamb as it went down until it reached the area of the breast. He reached the breast and cut off the head and gave it to whoever won the privilege of carrying it. He cut off the feet and gave them to whoever won the privilege of carrying them. He completed the skinning. He tore open the heart and removed his blood. He cut off the forelegs and gave them to whoever won the privilege of carrying them. And he went up to the right hind leg and cut it off and gave it to whoever won the privilege of carrying it. And the two testicles were left attached to it. He tore open the body cavity, and thus it was completely revealed to him. He took the fat, put it on the place of the incision of the head on top. He took the intestines and gave them to whoever had won the privilege of carrying them. In order to rinse them, they would rinse the stomach in the rinsing chamber as much as it needs. The intestines would be rinsed at least 3 times upon marble tables, which were between the pillars. He took the knife and separated the lung from the liver and separated the liver appendage from the liver, but would not budge it from its place. He would pierce the sides of the breast and give it to whoever won the privilege of carrying it. He went up to the right flank. He would cut down to the spine, but he would not touch the spine until he reached the 2 soft ribs. He cut off the right flank and gave it to whoever won the privilege of carrying it, and the liver was suspended within the right flank. He approached the neck and left it in 2 ribs from the side and 2 ribs from that side. He cut off from this neck section and gave it to whoever won the privilege of carrying it, and the trachea, heart, and lungs were suspended within it. He approached the left flank and left 2 soft. He approached the left flank and left 2 soft ribs above and 2 soft ribs below, and he would leave out the same in the outer part. Thus, he would leave out both flanks, 2 and 2 above, and 2 and 2 below. He would cut off the left flank and give it to whomever won the privilege of carrying it, and the spine was together with it, and the spleen was suspended within it. In truth, the left flank was greater than that, but that it was the right flank that they referred to as the greater one because the liver was suspended within it. He approached the back position. He approached the back portion and cut it off and gave it to whomever won the privilege of carrying it, and the fatty tail, liver appendage, and the 2 kidneys were together with it. He took the left hind leg and gave it to whomever won the privilege of carrying it. Thus, all of the Kohanim were standing in a row, and the limbs were in their hands. The first Kohen with the head and the right hind leg, the head was in his right hand with the snout facing his arm, and its horns between his fingers, and the place of its incision was above with the fat placed upon it, with the right hind leg in his left hand, with the place of the skin facing outward. The second Kohen with the 2 forelegs, the right one in his right one in his right hand, the left in his left hand, with the place of the skin facing outward. The third Kohen with the back portion on the left hind leg, the back portion in his right hand, with the fatty tail hanging between his fingers, and the left liver appendage and 2 kidneys with it. The left hind leg in his left hand, the place of the skin facing outward. The fourth Kohen with the breast and the neck, the breast in his right hand, the neck in his left hand, with the neck's ribs between his fingers. The fifth Kohen with the 2 flanks, the right one in his right hand, the left one in his left hand, with the place of the skin facing outward. The sixth Kohen with the intestines, which were placed in a spoon, and the feet were placed upon the intestines. The seventh Kohen with the fine flour, the eighth Kohen with the kavitim, the ninth Kohen with the wine, the Kohen went and placed the limbs from the halfway point of the ramp and down on its west side, and they salted these items. Then these Kohanim descended and came to the chamber of hewn stone to recite the Shema. The appointed one said to the Kohanim, recite a single blessing, and they recited the blessing. They recited the 10 statements. Hero Israel, and it will come to pass if you will hearken. And Hashem said they recited 3 blessings: Emes V'yativ and the service. The appointed ones, and the blessings of the Kohanim. And on the Sabbath, they would add a single blessing for the outgoing Mishna.
Okay, that's it. Now I take over.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, boss.
A lot of stuff in there.
Yeah.
Amar Lahem. So the appointed Kohen says to them, Chadashim la Ketoris bo v'hafisu. So because the Ketoris had a like a segula, it was like Baduk. It was clear that whoever did the Ketoris became wealthy. So everyone wanted to do that, and they only allowed one person to do it once in his lifetime. Okay, so clearly there were enough kohanim that every day you'd be able to get a new one, and you would still not run out of kohanim to do the ketoris. So they said, okay, people who've never done ketoris before come and be counted. And Hefisu, and he did the Hagralah, Zacha Mish Zacha, and yay, somebody won. Chadashim im yeshanim bo va'afisu mi male eivarim min hakevesh lamizbech. And now there's a new lottery for who gets to take the pieces of the Tamid from the remember they put them halfway up the ramp yesterday. Okay, we learned this just now. We learned that they put them halfway on the ramp, and then they broke for Kriyas Shema, and now they're going to take them back up again. So it's a new bunch of Kohanim who get the right to take it from the ramp and up. Okay. Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov Omer Hamale Evarim Lekevesh Male Osan Al Gabi Mizbech. He says no, there was no new lottery. The people who started, they're the ones who finish. And Kati says that the halacha does not follow Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov. So when they rebuild the Beis Hamikdash, the halacha will be that you'll get a new lottery. Okay. Misarum lechazanim. Okay, now this is now referring to the Kohanim who didn't win any lottery. They came, they got dressed and already and they said, oh, okay, so nothing else for them to do at this point. So the shamashim of the Mikdash would come and say, okay, guys, sorry, better luck next time. And they helped them to remove their big day kahuna because there was no need for them to be wearing them at this point. So they helped them to take everything off except the v'lo hayu manichim aleim ela michnasayim bilvad. So they just left the breeches on them. Okay, but chalonos hayusham, and they had little that's not the word cubicles, pigeonholes. So there's some pigeonholes that they would put all of the clothing into and store it there. V'kasu aleim tashmisha kelim, and written on them was the it says like Michnasayim will be in here and Katones will be in here. So they packed them away in the right shelf. And then once the Kohanim had most of their civies on, at least something to cover over the breeches, then they could take off the breeches and put on new pants. Okay. Misha Zacha b'Katoris. Now for the lucky guy who won the Katoris. Haya notel is a kaf. So he took the ladle. A kaf domila tarkav gadol shel zahav. So it's a golden ladle that's and that holds three kavim of machzik shoshes kavim. So that's why it's called the tarkav. Trey v'kav. So it's 2 and 1 makes it 3.
Am I correct that this was done before dawn? This was done early.
This is, I mean, they started at dawn, but this is all happening before sunrise.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is really Alice Shachar, I guess, at this point then.
Yeah, I think they said this. Yeah, so Alice Shachar has been. That's what we're talking about, Alice Shachar, and that's when they can start the avoda. And I believe that all this. There's no reason why they need to wait until sunrise for this to happen. I don't think. Anyway, right. So this is. So he's got the golden ladle. And there was another kli inside the ladle, which was I'm not sure how to translate bazech. It's another.
It says the ladle was similar to a large takav vessel made of gold, which holds 3 kavs, and the spoon was inside it, filled and heaped over with.
Bazech is a spoon. Okay. So there's a spoon inside malay gadush katoris, and it's heaped up with incense. So why did they put this inside the ladle? Because the ladle was very big, and you didn't need all that much katoris. You just needed what was in the spoon inside, but it was more. So why not put it straight into the ladle? Because it looks miskain. So put it into a kli that's nice and full, and put that kli inside the ladle to catch anything that falls. The kisoy hayalo, and it had a covering. Kamin metateles haya alav milamanan. So first of all, there was a kisoy. So the spoon inside had a
cover on it.
Had a cover on it, and then there was a metateles, is like a nice cloth. That was on top of the lid, just for beauty. Okay, and we will continue with the avoda of the Kataris tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay.
Meila. We have Vav Hey. Regarding one who deposits money with a money changer, if the money is tied, the money changer may not use it. Therefore, if the money changer spends the money, he has committed me'ilah. If the money is loose, the money changer may use it, and therefore, if the money changer spends the money, he has not committed me'ilah. If the money is deposited with a householder, whether tied or loose, he may not use it. Therefore, if he spends the money, he has committed me'ilah. The storekeeper is likened to a householder. These are the words of Rameir, where Yehuda says the storekeeper is likened to a money changer. Regarding a consecrated pruta that fell into a purse, or the owner said, a pruta in this purse shall be consecrated, then as soon as he spends the first pruta, he has committed me'ilah. These are the words of Rabbi Akiva. From the sage, but the sages say he does not commit me'ilah until he spends the entire purse. Rabbi Akiva agrees regarding one who says a pruta of this purse shall be consecrated, that he may spend and continue to spend the money until he spends the entire purse.
And one from beginning of Tamid. Tamid.
Tamid?
Go back to Tamid, just the first mission of Tamid now.
Oh, I had some more. Okay. The Kohen would stand guard in three places: in the holy temple, in the chamber of Vitanis, and the chamber of the Ray, and the hall of the fire. The chamber of Vitanis and the chamber of the Ray were upper stories, and the youngsters would guard them. The hall of the fire was domed, and was a large house encircled with a ledge of stone. And the elders of the base Av would sleep there, and the keys of the courtyard were in their hands. And the young Kohanim would sleep with each with his pillow on the ground. They would not sleep in their holy vestments, but they would rather move them and fold them and place them beneath their heads. And they would cover themselves with their personal garments. If one of the Haman experienced a similar mission, he would exit the hall of fire and proceed through the tunnel that went under the beer, and there were lamps burning there and there until he reached the immersion room. A large fire was there, as well as a latrine of dignity. This was a dignity. If one found it closed, he knew that there was a person there. If he found it open, he knew there was no person there. He descended and immersed, ascended and dried himself off, and warmed himself in front of the large fire. He came and sat next to his fellow Kohanim until the gates were opened. He departed and went on his way. Okay.
Hey.
And yeah.
Break 5.
Okay. Malachos.
Tomorrow.
Well, I'm going to do the first. Wait a second. Oh, I'm getting confused. Okay, all right. More. Okay. Tomorrow, Vav Aleph. If all animals that are forbidden to be offered on the altar render forbidden other animals in any amount, an animal that was sodomized, an animal that was sodomized, a designated animal, one that is worshipped, a hoglet's wage, a dog's exchange, a hybrid, a treifa, and one delivered through the Caesarean section. What is designated? What is a designated animal? One that was designated for idolatrous purposes. It itself is prohibited, but what is upon it is permitted. And what is one that was worshipped? And any animal that was worshipped as an idol, and it was what is forbidden. Both this and its animal are permitted to be eaten. What is a harlot's wage? If one says to a harlot, take this lamb for your wage, even if he gives her 100 lambs, they are all forbidden. Similarly, if one says to his fellow, take this lamb and let your maidservant spend the night with my slave, Rebbe says it is not a harlot's wage, but the sages say it is a harlot's wage. What is a dog's exchange? If one says to his fellow, take this lamb in exchange for this dog. Similarly, if two partners divided their animals between them, and one took 10 lambs and took 9 lambs and a dog, and lambs are not taken against the dog, are prohibited, while those that are taken with the dog are permitted. A dog's wage in a harlot's exchange, these are permitted as it is stated 2, and not 4. The offspring of an Esnan and of a Mechor Kelev are permitted as it is stated they and not their offspring.
Okay. Now we can do Menachos.
Okay. Menachos. We do not bring either from a fertilized field or from an irrigated field or from a field of trees, but if one brought, it is valid. How does one do it? He plows in the first year. And the second year, he plants it 70 days prior to Pesach, and he produces fine flour in abundance. How does one check it? The treasurer inserts his hand into it. If dust comes up with it, it is unfit until he sifts it. If it becomes wormy, it's unfit. Tekoa is the per area for the oil. Abba Shaul says second to it is Regev beyond the Jordan, and all lambs are valid, but they would bring them from these. We do not bring either from a fertilized field or from an irrigated field or for those trees between which vegetation grew, but if one brought it, it's valid. We do not bring from unripe olives, and if one did, it's invalid. We do not bring from olive berries, which are soaked in water, nor from the preserved, not or from the stewed. If one did, it's invalid. These are three categories of olives, each with three oils. The first olive he picks it from the top of the olive tree and pounds it and places it in the basket. Rabbi Yehuda says around the basket, this is the first. He presses with the beam. Rabbi Yehuda says with stones, this is the second. He again grinds and presses them. This is the third. The first is the menorah, and the rest is from the nickel offerings. The second olive he picks from the tube top and pounds and places it in the basket. And Rabbi Yehuda says around the basket, this is the first. He presses with the beam. Rabbi Yehuda says with stones, this is the second. He again grinds and presses them. This is the third. The first is for the menorah. The rest is for the mincha offerings. The third olive he packs inside the house until it decays and takes it up and dries it atop the roof and pounds it and places it into the basket. Rabbi Yehuda says around the basket, this is the first. He presses with a beam. Rabbi Yehuda says with stones. This is the second. He again grinds and presses them. This is the third. And this first is for the menorah and the rest is for mincha offerings.
Okay.
Yeah, we are on to Baba Messiah. Daled Yud. Just as there was a wronging in buying and selling Torah, there's a wronging with words. One shall not say to another, how much does this article cost? If he does not wish to purchase it. If he was a penitent, he does not say to him, remember your former deeds. If he was the son of a proselyte, he shall not say to him, remember your ancestors' deeds, for as it said, you shall neither wrong or proselyte nor oppress him. I think this also has to do with the fact that how much does the article cost? If he has no intention to purchase, and it says in Pirkei Avos about going into a sewer store like you're shopping. You really you're not going to purchase it. You just want to get a price.
Why Pirkei Avos? That's halach in Bava Metzia.
I think there's something in Pirkei Avos about that. No, maybe I'm wrong. There was something in Pirkei Avos about it.
I can't remember anything on that subject.
I'm probably wrong this time. Okay.
I may be wrong also.
All right. Produce may not be mixed with other produce, even new produce with another new produce, and certainly new with old. Truly, in the taste of wine, they permitted to mix strong wine with mild wine because it improves it. The leaves of one whose wine may be not mixed with one another wine that he may give him his own. I'm sorry, let me start again. The leaves of one wine may not be mixed with another wine, but he may give him its own leaves. One whose wine was mixed with water may not sell it in a store unless he notifies him, and not to a merchant, even if he notifies him, but this is only to deceive with it. Whomever they are accustomed to put water into wine, they may put. A merchant may take from 5 threshing floors and put it into one bin, from 5 wine presses and put it into cash, as long as one does not intend to mix. Yehuda says a storekeeper may not distribute parts corn or nuts to the children because he's accustomed to them to come to him. The sages, however, permit it. One may not lower the price. Sages, however, say he is remembered for good. He may not sieve crushed beans. These are the words of Rabbi Shaul. Sages, however, permit it. They agree, however, that he may not give from the opening of the bin, for he is only like the one who deceives the eyes. Okay. I'm very careful about that. I try to be very careful. I go into a store. I'm looking for an odd project, but I just want to see how much it might cost. I don't want to deal with the salespeople, only because I don't want them. I know a lot of places I don't know how it is in South Africa, but if you go in America to a car place, they have an order, like Europe now, and if you miss that point, you miss your chance, and I don't want to do that to someone. I don't want to take the, so I, no, thank you very much. I'm just looking, so if I need help, I'll call you,
Yeah.
Very careful and try to be careful about that.
Yeah.
Okay, we have Zion Aleph. How do we roast the Pesach? We spit a pomegranate wood and thrust it through its mouth to its anus and place its knees and its entrails inside. These are the words of Yossi Agili. The Akiva says this is considered a form of cooking, rather they are hung outside. We may not roast the Pesach offering either on a metal spit or a roasting tray. Reb Tzadok said it once happened that Rabbi Gamliel said to Tavi, his slave, go out and roast for us the Pesach offering on the roasting tray. If he touched the earthenware of the oven, he must power off its place. If some of its juice dripped onto the earthenware and dripped back onto it, he must remove its place. For if some of its juice dripped on the flour, he must remove a handful from its place. If he smeared it with oil of tamora, and if the group is composed of a Hanan, they may eat. If it's composed of Israelites, then it is raw, and he must rinse it. And if he roasted it, he must par the outside. If you smear it with oil of the second tithe to Uzziah, may not be charged to the members of the company, since second tithe may not be redeemed in Yerushalayim. 5 things.
That's it.
Oh, was it ready?
Yeah, 3.
Kicks off there.
And Machsharon.
That much. Sure, we are at olive oil. If one blew on lentils who ascertained that they are good quality, Reb Shimon says they are not included in the law of if water is placed, but the sages say they are included in the law of if water is placed. And if one ate sesame seeds with his finger concerning the liquid on his hand, Reb Shimon says they are not included in the law of if water is placed, but the come and say they are included in the law of water is placed. If one hid his fruits in the water because of thieves, the fruits are not included in the law of water is placed. If there was an incident with the people of Yerushalayim who hid their pressed figs in water because of the extortionists, and the rabbis ruled that the figs were tahor. If one places fruits in the rapids of a river in order to bring them with him, they are not included in the law of if water is placed. Regarding the perspiration of houses, cisterns, ditches, and caves, it is tahor. Regarding perspiration of humans, it is tahor. If one drank Tamid water and perspired, his perspiration is tahor. If one entered warm water and then perspired, his perspiration is tamid. If he dried himself and then perspired, his perspiration is tahor. Regarding the bathhouse that is tamid, his perspiration is tahor, tamid, and a tahor for a bathhouse, his perspiration is included in the law if water is placed. Regarding the pool of the house, and the house perspires on its account, if it is tamid, and then the perspiration of the entire house that is on account of the pool is tamid. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I got you there on time. Okay.
Okay, very good. Thank you so much.
You have another business meeting tomorrow morning, or?
Yeah, we'll be meeting tomorrow morning. Why not?
You don't have a thing.
No. I don't work on Fridays. I'm.
It's against your religion. Okay.
Yeah, it's my religion.
Okay. All right. Have a great day, and I will speak to you tomorrow morning. We'll try.